Hi, welcome back to my garden. I'm Neil Priest, in case you've forgotten. It has been a while since I made one of those videos, far too long. And I wish there was a really good reason, but, well, there isn't. Life and my daily routines have life has moved on in a perfectly reasonable sort of way. My daily routines have, well, collapsed. There's no other way of putting it. Over the last few years, I have seen all sorts of progress in certain administrative areas, in getting certain things done that needed to be done. My work habits, on the other hand, whether it's I suppose I could call my day job, my sculpture, and my serious pastime, hobby, call it what you will, my chess. In both cases, this sort of erosion of my daily routine has meant a massive decline in output. My life is good though, and I'm not saying any of this by way of complaint. And there are plenty of influencers, content creators who have fought back against the dominant position of productivity. Not every hobby needs to be a side hustle. And you don't have to be continually working. But in my case, if I'm being truly honest, this sort of erosion of my daily habits has not been because I've been doing other important things. It's just a sort of frittering away of my time. Where's it all gone? It's doing an audit. It wouldn't make pretty reading. Now, why has that happened? I guess it's because the things that I have prioritized have been in nature bureaucratic. Sorting out my passport, resolving matters with my pension fund, applying for municipal grants for my art. Whenever these sort of things happen, I kind of put work on hold, and then it takes me a while to get back into the groove. But of course, something else turns up, and before long, the habit has just fallen apart. I wonder if this isn't true for a lot of people for whom COVID, I don't want to say was a blessing in disguise, because it wasn't a blessing, obviously not. But it was a period of my life when I really did knuckle down, and my sort of output, my artistic output, went through the roof. It was a fantastically productive period. And maybe I was due something of a reset. Be that as it may, there comes a point where I think we have to be kind to ourselves and just say, okay, I'm drawing a line in the sand, not because it's some kind of artificial date, although those who know me well know I love my little dates and cutting up the year and thinking that this time is an excellent moment to start something new. But making this video, I must confess, at the back of my mind was the thought that we're just about at the end of June, so half of the year is done and dusted, which is a great time to draw a line in the sand and say, right, the second half of the year, there is plenty of time stretching out in front of me to do all sorts of wonderful things. And it promises to be a fantastic second semester, so to speak. I have a very interesting art event coming up that will take place here on my property, the gallery and in the garden. And those sorts of events always, are galvanizing. They are energizing. They sort of force you to do something, because once you've sent out the invitations, well, there's no turning back. And I'm definitely one of those people who needs that sort of artificial pressure. I mean, there's lots of things I need. We need to have a beard trim, for example. Looking at the camera, I hadn't noticed. But yes, a haircut and a beard trim would be a great place to start. I can do that on the 30th of June, tomorrow. I mean, whether it's the 30th of June when, even today when you see this video, when it's published, well, that remains to be seen. I'm going to do my best, though. I have nothing else planned today. My days stretch out in front of me. And, I'm in a fortunate position. Not many people are in this position where I'm debt-free. Responsibilities, no, I don't have children. No one is relying on me. My wife and I eat well, and we keep ourselves busy one way or another. So, I'm not letting anyone down when I spend too much time looking at YouTube videos. But I must say, last year, for example, when I had a small surgery, hernia operation, after that I had to lie down a lot, and I went through a short spell of reading a lot of books that I'd meant to read for a while. And it was wonderful. And isn't that just the way? It's like back in the day when I was at university, and I'd always forget to phone my parents. There was important things to be done, like going down to the happy hour at our local pub. But when I did get around to phoning the folks back home, I felt good. I hadn't actually accomplished anything or done anything, but it was just a nice feeling. Obviously completely different to the feeling that you get when you've read a book. But in this day and age where a lot of our distractions are things that I think make us feel worse about ourselves. If you go down a bit of a rabbit hole, a Netflix binge, or whatever it might be, you don't feel great the next day. I mean, you might pass the time and almost think you're enjoying yourself. Rather like those evenings when I was a student and you'd go down to the pub, and at the time you thought you were having a fantastic time. And I suppose you were. Maybe you were, maybe not. But the next day, when you look back on it, and I'm sure many of you will identify with this, you're left with that feeling of, why on earth did I do that? I don't think I was having a great time. I was essentially repeating pointless conversations that I'd had many times before. We were all slapping each other on the back, metaphorically, or literally, to convince ourselves that we're having a great time. But were we really? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I think an important point when we draw that line in the sand before moving forward, as is my plan, is to be kind to ourselves, to not get caught up in that wave of self-recrimination, because that won't make you do the work that you want to do. In fact, it's just another form of has been popularized, internal resistance. It's another game that your subconscious mind is it's playing on you to stop you doing what you need to do. You've wasted all that time, and then you fall into a deep funk where you chew over exactly why you didn't do what you should have been doing, feeling progressively more and more depressed about what a waste your life has been. And I'm prone to that as much as anybody, maybe more, maybe less than some. But I think it's part of, if not the human condition, certainly our contemporary Western condition. And at the end of all of that, you are no nearer to moving forward. And if you just simply said, well, that was fine. I mean, I've spoken about this before in one of my videos. If that got me to this point, this here and now, where I'm so wonderfully positioned to do fantastic things, then it was for the best. And I should be grateful. And on the whole, of course, my life has been wonderful. If you weigh it up, do the audit, the balance sheet of your life. If you're anything like me, my life has been fantastic. I have nothing to complain about. And lamenting that I could have spent it more productively, well, who knows if that would have left me better off. Maybe this path that has got me here now, maybe if I'd taken a different one, I wouldn't have got here and now in a better state. I might have ended up in a terrible place, or I might have been incredibly successful and become the CEO of some awful company and become so what is the word I'm looking for? So cocooned against a sort of more transcendental life, so wrapped up in materialist and status victories that I wouldn't be closer to the path I want to be on. I would be further away. So perhaps in that sense, I've lived the ideal life, because right now, when I look at what is possible, the things that can be done, it's actually quite exciting. This exhibition we're going to do at the house, a sort of festival, I think will be incredible. The main theme is rhinoceros. I'll speak more about this in a future video, but it will take place the big day on the 19th of September, Saturday before International Rhinoceros Day on the 22nd of September. And it will be wonderful. And my chess has hit a sort of another of those plateaus, as happens to most chess amateurs. But boy, there's interesting possibilities in the coming months and years. So everything to look forward to, every reason to be grateful and to be excited. And, I hope that this video finds you in a position where on reflection, with a little bit of a sort of a reckoning, you will feel the same as I do, that life has been more wonderful than not most of the time, and the possibilities in the future are truly fantastic. So there we are. Let's see if I can keep these videos going or not. It doesn't really matter. But otherwise, I trust your lives are filled with joy. And until the next video, ciao.